Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Safe to say it's been a pretty big week for Call of Duty all around. We of course got a bunch of different Modern Warfare 3 information revealed to us over the course of the past couple of days through various teasers, some text messages, stuff like almost ARG type stuff, similar to like Pawn Takes Pawn back in the day. We got some trailers as well, and one of the larger takeaways this week is, well, Verdansk. It's been some time since we've been able to talk about Verdansk in the main story and main games of Call of Duty. Obviously, it is live technically in Warzone Mobile, and that's going to be the main map once that fully releases, worldwide later on this year. But in general Call of Duty, currently Modern Warfare and Warzone, Verdansk obviously has not been around in some time, but it reappeared this week via the Makarov reveal trailer, which I won't lie, was definitely a surprise. Throughout various different teasers in this trailer itself, there are teasers within the trailer. Sometimes we get teasers, sometimes we get trailers. This was a mix of both. In the actual trailer itself, there are various teasers, various clips showing off Verdansk, a version of Verdansk. There's at one point where you can see the Gulag prison, basically the top towers of that. There's a different section where you can actually see the Verdansk stadium under attack. There's the same sort of soccer team logo on the outside of the building where it's under attack, and then inside as well, it reappears too. So there are some very important teasers here for Verdansk, and unfortunately, while this is very cool and very exciting, I have seen a lot of people sort of jump the gun on this one and make some pretty big assumptions. And today I basically wanted to talk about the general Modern Warfare 3 quote-unquote Verdansk update and what you should expect here, and then maybe what it could lead to over time. Because like I said, I saw a lot of people saying a lot of things this week, and there are certain things you should probably take note of before we jump to, major conclusions with anything. So yes, Verdansk was in the trailer. That's awesome. That's fun. It is actually going to have an impact on Modern Warfare 3 all these years later, after MW 2019 and partially after Cold War where we saw it last. But you have to keep in mind, all the reveals, all the teasers, everything going on right now for Modern Warfare 3 is basically to hype up the general game, which is story-based. It's all lore-based. Obviously, that's why in the first place we had a Makarov reveal trailer. It's not that frequent that, specific characters have their own reveal trailers for Call of Duty. I can't remember a ton in the past, but Makarov obviously is an iconic character from the OG trilogy, so he's obviously a name you're gonna recognize right away when you hear that he's back for Modern Warfare 3 2023. But everything that is involved in this trailer, showcasing him, showcasing his previous adventures, I guess, his various attacks, even though there's different points of view throughout the trailer. Every time it zooms into one of his tattoos, it's telling a different story, basically. While that is all focused on Makarov, it's also all focused on the story, the lore, and ultimately the campaign. Every single year with Call of Duty, the reveals are in a general order. It is always the campaign and the story and single player first. And then a bit closer to launch, we'll have the reveals for multiplayer, for Warzone, for co-op or zombies, whatever the case is in any given year. So all this information right now is directed towards the story. And that means that in the campaign, we're probably going to have some missions where either flashback or somehow present day, we're going to be in Verdansk. We're going to see this sort of attack play out, and we'll see how it ties into Makarov, right? But that's for the story. And I've seen a lot of people, in all sorts of different areas, whether it's other creators, whether it's in comments, whether it's over on Twitter. If you don't follow me over there, feel free to do so, saying, oh man, they're confirming Verdansk is returning. Verdansk is going to be back. And yes, it's back, but probably not, at least initially, in the way that most people are assuming right now. They look at this and they say, oh, this means it's going to be the new map for Warzone. We've had various leaks and rumors for Las Almas already. And, Metaphor has talked about some stuff recently we've covered in other videos saying that the new map is apparently heavily inspired by Verdansk. But I've seen a lot of people jumping the gun saying, oh, they're teasing, Verdansk returning in this trailer. That means it's going to be back for Warzone. not necessarily the case. And I hate to be, the bearer of bad news. I hate to dampen the excitement because, yes, Verdansk holds a special place in the eyes of a lot of Call of Duty players, even if sometimes those eyes are covered by rose-tinted glasses in certain areas. But just because Verdansk is appearing in this trailer, story-based trailer, doesn't mean that it's going to actually end up, translating to multiplayer or even Warzone as a playable map. It's certainly possible. Obviously, technically right now we're in a nuked state of Verdansk. We're post-nuke after the Cold War era, and that's all canon in the general storyline that was nuked. So we don't really know what would happen if we tried to go back to Verdansk, or if they tried to bring that back as a map. Modern day, at least, would we be playing in like a wasteland of some kind? Or would they have like another time period version of the map, where maybe it's not all completely destroyed, similar to Verdansk 84. They've done it once. I wouldn't be surprised if they did it again. But again, to clarify, just because it's in the trailer and it's being teased doesn't mean that it's automatically going to be back for the next Warzone map or for a Warzone map in the future. But that's also not saying that it's impossible for it to ever return, because that's also, on the table. By the way, if you guys are new here, you want to guarantee you're always up to date with everything going on in COD. If there's any news on Verdansk potentially returning to Warzone or any other reveals coming up, you guys know I'm gonna have you covered on a day-to-day basis, so be sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, if you enjoy the video, if you want to see Verdansk back, do me a favor, drop a like on the video itself. But while this all doesn't necessarily mean that Verdansk is coming back, it is, like I said, certainly an option. And I would say even more so of an option as of late, because of the attention to detail when it comes to nostalgia in Call of Duty recently. Of course, for the past couple of weeks, past month or so, we've had a lot of the old Call of Duties sort of see a, well, no pun intended, resurgence here because of Microsoft fixing the servers on Xbox. Obviously, Microsoft is in the process of acquiring Activision Blizzard King, and with that, they have gone through and Microsoft actually manually fixed the servers for Call of Duty games on Xbox as a platform, and that's why you've seen so many people back on MW2, MW3, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, whatever the case may be, right? They clearly are, looking at that and saying, hey, we know people love Call of Duty nostalgia. We know they want to go back and play these older games because they were the glory days, right? Well, a lot of players consider Verdansk to be the glory days of Warzone. You don't know you're in the good old days until you left them, right? And while Microsoft is not fully, in charge and has taken over Activision yet, I'm sure there's plenty of communication between Microsoft and between Activision that, allow things like this to go through with the old servers getting fixed. So I'm sure there already have been talks about Verdansk, ? What are we thinking? Could we make it return in some way, shape, or form that would make sense to the story? Do we just say, forget the story and bring it back because we want our player count numbers to be back towards what they were there? Because I'll tell you what, even if the Warzone gameplay is not someone's cup of tea, if they see Verdansk is back and they love that map, they'll be back on the game. Now, they might realize after 4 or 5 matches, man, this gameplay is not it, and then get off, but they'll be back, and that keeps the monthly concurrent player count, stats that Activision loves to have in their quarterly meetings and whatnot. It keeps those numbers up. So Verdansk absolutely could be coming back with Modern Warfare 3 or with Warzone in a future update. But please, please, please note that just because it's shown up in Modern Warfare 3 marketing, that doesn't directly mean it is confirmed to be back. For Warzone, clearly going to be back in the campaign in some way, shape, or form, but we'll have to wait and see if that extends to anything beyond single player. So just a bit of a PSA. I know it dampens the mood because everyone wants Verdansk to be back, but just a heads up, that's how it is. That's, happens every single year, essentially. We see something in a trailer and it's like, oh, that's going to be awesome in multiplayer. That's going to be awesome in Warzone. But then it doesn't end up going to those modes because it's for single player. So just a heads up there, but that's going to wrap things up for this one. If you enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it. Would be really appreciated. And if you guys are new here, you want to guarantee you're up to date with everything going on between MW2, Warzone, and MW3, be sure to hit that subscribe button on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.